plastic welding, what was wrong and what it looks like now. If you look at, well, I don't know that I can keep that lit. Let's see what we can do. If you look right here, you can see this hole has been filled. This will have to be re-drilled. Because there's a hole here where one of the plastic rivets would go through. It had cracked out. There was an opening about 1/8 of an inch across the bottom of here where it had been ripped through when I'd stuck this thing on the side. That was the only damage coming down the side of here to that particular component. And then here on, I'm going to set this down. Here what amounts to, well, right? You get it, right? Fender, right? So on this, 2 more tabs had broken out. And there's one on each side. Oh, right here. So this one had broken out. Exact same way. This had pulled through, and there was a gap. There was a gap right here, and it's similarly fixed, and we'll talk about what that looked like, what that process was like in just a second. And then this same tab right here. Let's pull. Well, I think that's what we're gonna get. This tab here, exact same thing. About 1/8 of an inch separation where it had ripped through and cracked the plastic. So not massive cracks. These obviously much thinner here and here relative to the thickness of this. I'm doing a lousy job of getting. Why am I doing such a lousy job? There it is, of that thickness, right? You can see how thick it is now, which, by the way, is proof that I've built it up. It's much thicker now than it was. So, I used a $16.99 Harbor Freight welding tool to do all these things. I pulled this off, needed my wife's assistance to hold it still. That proves to be important. I used a piece of, it was a piece of bed that I got from a wrecked Polaris. I just stopped down at the Polaris dealer and asked them if they had any spare parts. What you want to do is you want to use very small sections. I was using surprised it's not here. No, I didn't. I was using very small sections of the. Let's see what I see here. Yeah, a lawnmower project. Well, you're not going to see it. So, without looking around, and I didn't organize enough. So, I used very small sections of tie wrap. I used for the white one right here, or this is actually the black one. So I used right here. So, obviously this has to be out of the way. What you want to do is have this, that it's held pretty rigidly. Again, I had my wife hold it still. I used the $17 Harbor Freight, and it's all you need. It's very successful. Plastic welding. It's basically a solder iron with a flat shoe. And you want that because that flat shoe, again, look how that looks relatively good. And few people are going to see that, right? And you can see where I've been swiping it left and right. That's important. That helps you get a good meld and lets you heat the plastic around it so you get a good bond. If you don't get that bond, no bueno. So yeah, that's what you want. You want to be able to heat it up around it. You want to be able to get all of it pretty pliable, and then you really want to be putting pieces of plastic on in chunks, getting it welded in, kind of maneuver the machine, the iron around to get it to kind of flow in, and then get another chunk out. I was using, either a small plier or a pair of dikes, or even needle nose pliers are actually better. When you can, you want to weld it horizontally on something flat so you can set it and rest it. Here wasn't too tough, but once again, what you're doing is you're setting it in, melting it in place. I actually chose to melt starting at the top so that gravity, as it melted down, would come down, and I filled the whole hole, as you can see. I'll re-drill this. I'm not going to use a rivet. I'll use a small screw. I can get behind it and leave myself more strength. So yeah, all three very successful, no sweat. Again, I used black tie wrap here, nylon wire tie. I used for the silver, and you can still see that there's a little bit of plastic, black plastic left on the soldering iron when I did it, but I used a clear on this one, right? Here we go. I used clear, although it didn't really. And I reinforced here. You can see there's a little bit of stress there, so I reinforced this as well. And it is, as you can see here from this angle, I've built up additional plastic, so it's not only welded back together again, but it's thicker. And I've done that because I believe I have that kind of clearance. It's a little thicker here too. Once again, no reason to not. Let's make it stronger if it failed before. And then this one is substantially thicker, but thicker on the back side. So yeah, it's an easily learned skill. I have to say I started with this one first, and I got it hot, and it flopped out, and I actually, the hole was this whole width when I first started, and I about kicked myself. But you learn in a big hurry to not get it too hot. This plastic turns liquid very easily, so you got to get the iron good and hot when you start. The iron heats up pretty slow, so be patient. Let the iron sit there for 5 minutes. Once the iron is hot, it's not too tough, small for me, small sections held with a needle nose pliers was where it was at. Let it meld in, work it, get some more, work it, and work it over in sections. Yeah, it's ready to go back together again. So, there you go. There's the plastic welding. And then, everybody's seen the projects over time, but there's the adjustable sway bar, and there's the mufflers, and of course here's that bracket back on, and that's that's all done. And standing back here, you don't see anything. That looks for all the world like this is a factory exhaust system on here, and I just laugh my ass off because that's the plan, right? And of course there's a dual rate spring project. I reused the front, put them on the back. The front primaries became the back primaries because they're a little too stiff for the front, and so that makes them viable here. Here's the spacer we talked about in that project. That's double layer of PVC pipe. I don't know. Hope it helps, guys. Good luck to you in your projects. See ya.